everybody, James here. Welcome back to the Dacha. Right then, I believe we've got some pressing matters to begin with. The first question is today, what difficulties did you encounter whilst learning Russian? This is said in past tense. Let's just say, what difficulties are you encountering for a start? Goodness. To begin, really I started learning and speaking about one and a half years ago now. And we have to just start with the fact that it's an entirely different logical framework. Now, of course, me as an English teacher, I speak to Russians on a daily basis who are learning English. And they cannot stand the article rule. Of course, using articles, and the, can't stand them. I understand why, believe me. But it's very strange when you don't have articles. Just saying, ya, the, metro. Where's my okay. And all of the different suffixes. For instance, if I was to say, you've got to say moi paidiom, etim letom, samolokom, all of that kind of stuff, and each suffix just changes it slightly. And I'm still learning, and to be honest, I think that will be a never-ending process. I liken it to an onion. You've got to peel the onion. You must peel the onion. However, of course, every single layer that you peel of an onion is going to make you cry. But anyway, gotta learn it. I am here. Это значит, мне нужно учусь каждый день. What shocked you or surprised you about Russian mentality? Straightforwardness. Straightforwardness and brutal honesty. Now, being from Britain, of course, we use a lot of indirect language, okay? A lot of indirect language, and there are just certain things that we won't say to other people. Now, you might notice, compared to my pub video, I've lost a lot of weight, okay? Let's just start there. I've lost a lot of weight. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because on multiple occasions, I've been out in the public eye, seen people, the shopkeeper, my person at work, my wife, the family. Just one day, I walk into the shop near me, and anyway, the shopkeeper turns around to me, and he says, bearing in mind my wife's pregnant at the time, he basically said, "Yeah, James, I see you really are becoming a father." I said, "What do you mean? Что это значит?" He went like this. Oh my life. And he was just laughing. I was laughing, dying inside, but laughing. It was funny. And yeah, I thought I was covering up my porky podge really well, to be honest. I thought, goodness gracious, like in the UK, we probably wouldn't be that direct with people. So yeah, there is this level of kind of brutal, straightforward honesty that you encounter here that I've got to be honest, I've never encountered anywhere else before. And it's quite refreshing, actually. But there's a part of me that thinks a lot of people from the UK, if they're really used to indirect, beat around the bush kind of language, they really would not like that. They really wouldn't like it. How direct and straightforward and honest people can be here. It can be brutally honest. I love it. I love it because it's black and white. I can deal with that. It literally is black and white. I know where I stand, and that's fantastic. You know, so that brutal honesty sometimes, it kicks you back into shape, like it did with me. I thought, you know what? Yeah, the shopkeeper's right. I need to lose this podge. I'm becoming a right porky podger. Another really interesting thing that I found from being here, there's this everything is going to be all right mentality. Всё будет хорошо. Всё будет хорошо. Now, it could be the apocalypse. It could be a disaster. Your car has just fell off a cliff. You're scratching your head, looking down, thinking, oh, kashmar. And then someone will turn around to you and say, Visho будет хорошо. Nothing to worry about. We'll sort it. We'll sort it. Seriously, it could be the end of the world, and people will do that, and it's just like, wow, goodness. You mean we're not going to complain about this for a moment, this problem that we found? So, I do like that. People are pretty cool and collected here. In the face of absolute disaster, it's just, could be worse. Also, one thing that I've actually stopped doing at this point is asking if people are okay in Russia. Like, in England, we've got this autopilot response. How you doing? You alright? Yeah, you? Yeah, I'm okay, thanks. Full stop, alright? Now, you know, we could have just come back from our hamster's funeral. However, we're still going to be okay. Regardless. It's autopilot. It's just an autopilot thing. Anyway, I was walking into one of my favourite cafes the once. They usually serve food there. And the chef, who I get on with pretty well, he's a nice chap. I just asked him, you know, how you doing? You alright? He turns around and he goes, no, I'm shit. And I was taken back by it. I was like, where's the autopilot, I'm okay response thing? It's not here. People are pretty straightforward about whether they're good or bad. And if they're bad, they're going to tell you. So anyway, he turns around and says, I'm going to have to find a new job now. And I'm going to have to go and work somewhere else. The kitchen's closing down. This is ridiculous. So I'm terrible at the moment. And I was just taken back, thinking, wow, goodness, I didn't expect. We have this autopilot thing, and I hope everything's going to be okay. So people are pretty straightforward here. Don't ask if someone's all right or whether they're okay unless you want the honest answer, because you're going to get the honest answer. Yeah, it's true. Right, the next question. The next question we've got is, what can the British learn from the Russians and vice versa? Right, okay, what can we learn? Firstly, there is something really cool here. And I've actually got a pair right here. And they're called tapki. Got to have a good pair of tapki. Now, you know, anywhere you go, it appears that you will get supplied a nice fresh pair of tapki, which is fantastic. Okay, these are my tapki. I love my tapki. My tapki are fantastic. And just the fact that, you know, you don't have to walk around on a cold floor if someone says take your shoes off. In a Russian house, you must always take your shoes off. You must always stick your tapki on. Okay, like you should wear them around the house. It's weird not to. Another thing is, as well, it's absolutely a customary to wash your hands when you've been outside. So you come inside, say you've been on public transport, you should go and wash your hands. So you should take your shoes off at the door. You should get your tapki on. You should wash your hands. I do like that. I do indeed like that, actually. I think it's a great concept, and it seems pretty much universal from everywhere that I've been so far. So I do like the fact that there is that, because of course, you know, think about your shoes for a minute. Your shoes, like say if you've been to the local pub, and you know, you've just walked in from off the street, and you've also been using a public bathroom. You've stepped in chewing gum. You've also stepped in, you know, God knows whatever. And you've just walked into the house and you're walking all over the place. I don't think that's very hygienic, to be honest. You know, stepping in some puddle of urine in a bar and then coming back. I don't think that's quite a good thing. So I think, yeah, we should use tap key. It's a great idea. I love a good pair of tap key. Can't live without them now. It's great. Also in England, I wish we had Dachas. We don't have Dachas. We just either live in houses or flats. We don't really have a concept of a Dacha. So of course, at the Dacha, it's brilliant. Usually, you've got your vegetables growing. People will go away to a Dacha for the summer. Maybe go and visit their grandparents there or whatever. And then they'll go back to their apartment in the city, and we don't really have that concept in the UK of a dacha. Our idea of getting away is a week in Spain, or we might go over to Wales maybe for, I don't know, a week or something like that. We'll go and stay in a caravan or an Airbnb, but we don't have an apartment and then some dacha kind of thing that we can just go and live the nice quiet life and go and grow our own vegetables. Yeah, I wish we had dachas. The UK would be so cool if we had dachas. I mean, it's just brilliant. You've got all this green open space. People go for the summer and they're making barbecues. People are going down to the local river, catching their fish, bringing it back for the barbecue. Everyone's got vegetables growing, so your neighbours might be growing some carrots, you might be growing some strawberries, you'll do a little swap, you'll have your own little neighbourhood community of people growing stuff. Yeah, no, we just don't have it. We don't have it in the UK, really, the whole dacha concept. It's not a thing. And it's super, super cool. I absolutely adore the concept. I do wish we had dachas. It's just marvellous. I love it. Absolutely love it. So we could learn about creating dacha communities. I think that would be just outstanding. Another thing that bothers me as well that I just wish we could just do in the UK. Okay, here's an example. Where I live at the moment, right, there's a lady. She has a cow. She milks it. She creates cheese, cottage cheese. Puts out a little table with a cottage cheese, and she's just selling a cheese. No license. No one cares. You just buy it and you eat it, and it's good and it's natural. It's straight from the cow across the road. Just that, the fact that you got that natural, literally created in your neighbourhood's produce. Like you might have heard some chickens going just in the background. Yeah, that's because you can just go and buy eggs from that guy. He doesn't have a license. He doesn't have any of that. It's just, yeah, I've got eggs. Do you want to buy them? Cool. Here's the money. Here's the eggs. And you can guarantee it's all natural, all pasture raised, all good. Mwah, magnifique. Because in the UK, goodness gracious, you need a license to breathe, it seems. You can't just go and have a cow and go and milk it and then just sell your cheese near the train station. It's not gonna happen. So I do love the fact that people can do that, and I love that kind of commerce, because it's like, you're my neighbour, I trust you, I'll buy your stuff, and yeah. And I know a lot of people in the UK would scoff at that concept and say, oh, what about food standards? Do I look dead? If that's a no, then it's all good. James approves. What could Russians learn from British people? Not a fat life, I'm honest with you. But if there's one thing, I've got to pick one thing, it's got to be queuing. Now, it's kind of this thing that typically happens in the UK where we just love a good queue. And we queue for everything. We queued for the Queen's funeral. we queue for just about everything. Whereas here, not so much. You just kind of go, and that's it. And if you don't go, she goes. And if she doesn't go, he goes, and that's it. It just kind of happens like that. So yeah, I do. You don't always get orderly queues here. You might from time to time, but it's no, it's just a thing that you got to get used to. You know, for instance, you could be waiting for an appointment somewhere, and you'll just walk into this room, and you'll need that door over there, and you know, no one's queued up. Everyone's just kind of standing around, and then you know. Someone will say, who's next? And then you'll say, he's next. And then he will say that she's next. And then she will say that, oh, she's next. And it's just like, my British brain is just getting out of control. Like, I'm thinking, oh, why aren't we queuing? Like, why aren't we standing in the line? Where's the line? It's just anarchy. But yeah, somehow it works. The system works. But yeah, it does get bothersome though when you're catching the metro and you're on the metro and it's really busy. It's about rush hour. You want people to do the kind of the side queue where they queue for the door, and yeah, sometimes people don't. You've just got to kind of squeeze past. We've perfected the art of queuing in the UK. That's the thing. It's not that anywhere's bad at queuing, it's just that we are really, really good at queues. It's a very strange thing. We've mastered the art of it. It's part of the social fabric, I suppose. How did I survive my first winter in Russia? Ooh. Ooh. It did come with some difficulty, I'll tell you that much. I had to be very, very quick at adapting. I had to adapt very, very fast. You see, in the UK, we do have winter, but no, it's here. Yeah, you've got a real winter, and I'm talking winter wonderland. Winter. It's winter. Winters so hard here that the wintering will get you. It will get you if you're not prepared. So the first time I arrived here, actually, it was a year and a half ago, and we're talking about just the end of February, or the beginning of March, and it was still covered with snow and ice and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. The first thing that I learned when I started to go out, because I came out of a restaurant, I was standing right next to a building. Someone was walking past, I think it was a babushka. She just points up, she's just going like this to me, and I'm just like, and then she's like this, and then I step back from the building, and I look up, and I'm not joking, it looked like there was about a 2-metre icicle hanging off the side of this building. And very, very quickly I learnt that those icicles do fall from those buildings, and they do kill people. So, yeah, you can die by standing next to buildings in the winter. So that was quite shocking, really. Don't stand next to buildings, otherwise you might die. So yeah, I learnt that one pretty quickly, thank the Lord. And moving on to the next one, also boots. Good winter boots. And when I say good winter boots, they better be good. You should spend a bit of money on getting good winter boots. Not those cute ones that you wear in England. No, good, we're talking real winter boots with real good hard grips. That are really warm on the inside. Yeah, like those cheap, stylish ones just don't do. And the ones without proper treads on the bottom. Because the thing is, in the winter in England, of course, once the snow melts, what you often find is, once it's all melted, which only takes a couple of days in retrospect, all is well. You can just go on about your day and wear trainers if you want. It really doesn't matter. No, over here, you need proper boots, because once it starts snowing, in about around about the end of autumn, as I recall last time, as soon as that starts, it's there. It's there for months and months and months and months and months. And once it snows, it becomes a thick layer of ice. And when everybody's walking over it, it soon becomes slippy. And on your morning commute into work, you'd better hope that your boots are good. Otherwise, you are going to slip on that and potentially break your neck. So yeah, it can be quite serious, to be honest. Like, yeah, winters come with an added level of survival required. And another point on that, actually, I remember the first time I walked out of this house, it started to get cold, but in England there's no true necessity for a shapka, a hat, in England. So, you can kind of get away without wearing your winter hat. Well, I thought that I was smart, and my wife soon laughed at me, because we both walk out of the house, walk up the driveway. I said, nah. She was going, shapka, shapka, come on, James, wear a shapka. And I, of course, did not. I said, nah, there's no way it's going to be that bad. Literally, I got up to the gate, got out. I was standing on the road, and suddenly this massive gust of just freezing Arctic wind just hit me, and all of a sudden my head was just freezing. It felt like my skull was going to crack like this, and the pain was just excruciating. It was like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was like a brain freeze mixed with a migraine, mixed with a hangover, mixed with dehydration. It was just everything wrong. And I just remember holding my head and then just walking back in. And there was my wife in a little cute shapka. Ha! I told you! Yeah, so, you learn to prepare pretty fast, because if you're not prepared, it's a painful game. Right, anyway, so there are the questions for today. Now, if you have enjoyed this little question and answer session, then please don't forget to like and subscribe. Or don't if you didn't like it. But if you do, please do drop your future questions in the comments below. I will be looking forward to getting back to them, and we have got some cool videos coming up. As soon as the weather improves, it's just been thunderstorms and rain, but we're going to have some really cool videos coming up for you guys moving forward, probably out in the parks. I want to do some more pub reviews. So guys, anyway, that's a coffee with James.